President, a very big announcement today. 150 million rand invested in sports by Motsepe Foundation. That must be good news for you as South African Football Association, looking at the needs that come out from schools football, from schools netball, and school sport in general. What is the word from SAFA, looking at all what happened this afternoon?
Well, the word from SAFA is that it is wonderful for the future of football in this country for three reasons. One, that for the first time we have funding available for schools football at primary school, school football at secondary school, and that is already laying the solid base for the pathway of players from primary school level. But the Motsepe Foundation has not only stopped with 150 million investment in schools football in South Africa, they also invested $10 million into CAF Pan-African schools. So there is now domestic competition, there is a COSAFA competition, and there is a continental or CAF competition. And finally, FIFA will introduce the FIFA competition. As we speak, the two COSAFA champions are both South African schools. Clapham, as well for boys, and Edendale for girls, won the COSAFA schools competition in Malawi, and they will now play in the Pan-African or CAF African schools competition. This strengthens the drive for schools football.
President, I'm looking at the work that you have been doing from, whether it's Motsepe, ABC Motsepe, and all of the other schools competitions. Are we looking at, and somebody spoke about the graduation of the players going into the senior national level, national team. Are we looking at all of this being, all of these kids being groomed in essence to become Bafana players in the future? Is there any alignment between this and Bafana?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why we have junior national teams. We have an under-17 national team. That under-17 national team has qualified for AFCON. They are going to play now in April in Algeria. They are in a group with, it is South Africa, it is Morocco, it is Nigeria, and it is Zambia. They said it's a group of death, but our under-17 team is in that group, and they must be in the top two, because from there you qualify for under-17 World Cup. And all of those players are produced through the K Motsepe Schools competition. And the fact that Clapham is the Southern African champion for schools gives you an indication of the strength of our schools competition. And this league, or the Motsepe investment, started in 2016. In 2017, we qualified for the Under-20 World Cup. In 2019, we again qualified for the Under-20 World Cup. So 2 consecutive Under-20 World Cups. If you look at those players, they come through the schools. We qualified for 2 consecutive Olympics, the Rio Olympics as well as the Tokyo Olympics in 2020. When you go to 2021, 2021, it was COVID, and FIFA cancelled the Under-20 World Cup and the Under-17 World Cup, which was due in 2020. The Tokyo Olympics was shifted to 2021. It was not cancelled because, of course, there's a lot of investment. But for the other competitions, FIFA then just cancelled those competitions. So our base is not just broadening, our base is generating greater capacity and greater quality players. But the challenge is still that we need more qualified coaches.
Just the last one from me, Press.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Banyana. They just came from the Turkish Cup. The World Cup is just coming closer and closer. What is the plan for them going forward? Are there any big oppositions that are present?
Well, you know, in the group for Banyana in the World Cup, we are in a group with Sweden, with Italy, with Argentina, and of course Banyana. We are now, the last window is the window between the 1st of April and the 11th of April. That's the last window for Banyana to prepare. So we are looking at teams that's quite close to the kind of opposition that we'll face in our group. If we need to get out of the group, we have to beat at least 2 out of the 3. And that's where we are focusing at the moment. We will make announcement once we finalize with the team. But yes, we are working hard to make sure that there is enough preparation for Banyana. You know, we've already played Brazil here. We played Australia in London. And previous to that, we played Norway, Sweden, France, United States. So they played many matches outside the AFCON for women. And of course, they are the current African champions.
Chris, I mean, we've been seeing you speaking out over and over in terms of us going sort of like sports level, FIFA's involvement as well. I just wanted to get a sense in terms of how many schools, especially whether it's in the year or the past years, have really shown interest or putting up their hands in joining some of these professional provincial school leagues.
No, the interest have grown. Look, there are 24,000 schools in the country. And our first target is to get at least 10,000 schools to play schools football. And the difficulty has been that there are those, the private schools and the Model C schools were reluctant to play football. And that is beginning to change. And we see greater interest. So we will continue that engagement, and we want as many schools as possible, beyond 10,000 schools out of the 24,000 to play football. So that is an ongoing engagement with the schools.